If you're a builder, you want to get this thing right before you start marketing your business. Welcome to this podcast, guys. My name is Corne, and I'm doing this one solo today, which is really exciting. Look, the thing is, we see a lot of builders that they want to market their business because they know that if people don't know about their business, they won't be doing business with those people. It's like gravity. It's a universal law. And these builders come to us because they need help with their marketing and so on. But look, a lot of builders that when they approach us, they lack some sort of structure. They don't have a system in place to take care of inquiries. And we were actually in Adelaide recently with one of our builders shooting like this little bit of a behind the scenes documentary video for ourselves, a bit of a passion project. And this particular builder said, he said he would suggest to other building businesses that they don't start marketing their business until they have a system in place to take care of inquiries. And that is true. And that is what I'm going to be talking about in this episode today and giving you all the details on what this system should include if you're a building business. So going back to 2011, when Andre and I first started this business, Andre and I, we were the only people in the business, and we were doing a lot of different things. We had a lot of different roles, and a lot of our builder clients are like that. You might be the owner of a building company, and when you get started, it's basically just yourself. And we even have builder clients that have been a builder for years and years and years, and they're just by themselves. They've got a lot of contractors and so on. And then we've got builders that have big teams. Okay, so there's a big spectrum there. But looking back at when Andre and I first started this, I remember Andre and I wouldn't talk for a couple of days, and then we'll pick up the phone. And then I'll ask, hey, did you take care of that inquiry that came in 2 days ago? And then he'll say, no, I thought you took care of that. We didn't have a system in place. And it was really important to have this system in place because we were trying to do all these different things. We were trying to catch up with clients, shoot, edit, do everything that we were doing back then for clients. And when new business came in, it was almost like the afterthought. And the big problem with that is that if you don't look at new business coming in and you don't start nurturing those relationships and finding out what they want and need and everything else like that and proposing to them, then there's going to come a time in your business that things are going to go slow, and then you're wondering, why is everything so slow? Is it the market? What's going on? And most of the time I see this with builders. They didn't plant seeds 6 months, 1 year, 2 years ago and nurture those seeds for them to come to fruition now. I mean, in the building space, projects take ages, and from the person having the idea of, let's say, building a new home or renovating to the time contract, that could be years sometimes. So builders really need to have this in place. As the years progressed and Andre and I became more business savvy, we started implementing a sales structure system like this in our own business, and we are massive advocates for it. So much so that we've always communicated this to clients, and we always suggest that this is what you need, this is what you need. However, a lot of clients, they don't have this in place, or what they have in place is not sufficient for today at the end of 2022 going into 2023 right now. So this is exactly what we help our clients with. So I'm going to tell you exactly the things that our clients are doing right now, and you can use that in your own building business. So I'm going to go over the 5 things that you need in place for the system right now. The first one is the who. Now, this is a pretty easy one. Like Andre and myself back in the day, what we then decided on that day when this happened a few times when we're like, did you take care of this inquiry? No. On that day, we decided, okay, from now on, Corne, you're in charge of taking care of inquiries. That is part of your role. You're responsible for that. So that's the first thing that I would suggest for any builder to do, is to decide who is going to take care of new inquiries coming in. It doesn't matter how busy you are. It doesn't matter if you don't have any time. Again, some of the parts that I'm going to be talking about in the next few steps is going to make that clear to you, but you have to identify who is that. So what I normally suggest to our builder clients is that if you're the business owner, we suggest you taking care of those inquiries to start with. Until you have the whole system in place, you know exactly what to say, how to qualify prospective clients, and so on. It'll give you a lot of experience, a lot of feedback straight away so that you can enhance and optimize the system even better, so that when your team grows, someone else can start taking over some of the parts. But remember, business development is so important. If you don't have business development in your business, you basically don't have a business. You're basically relying on referrals and jobs just getting given to you instead of taking charge and responsibility for how your business performs. So that's what you want to do first of all, is the who. Decide who. The second thing you want to do is you want to have some sort of sales pipeline structure. And the easiest way for me to explain this is you could draw this up on a piece of paper to start with, on a napkin, a whiteboard. It doesn't really matter. We did it with a client here the other day in our office on the whiteboard. And you just want to draw out a few columns. And the very first column on the left is where new inquiries come in. And the column on the right is you went to contract and you were able to win the project. And then you have the columns in between. Now, this is going to look a little bit different for every single builder, but there are some universal factors that I would suggest having in there. Things like new opt-ins, so people that opted in for a video or education or a PDF. Number 2 is new on-site consults or consultations. The third thing then is book a discovery call. Fourth thing is having the consultation. Next thing is a prelim agreement, and then you go on like that. You want to limit it so it's not like this massive board. And this is probably not anything new to you. You've probably seen this in the past. You're probably using this in your business already. If you are, what I would suggest is simplify the whole process. Make it super simple. What I remember first doing this a few years ago for our own business, where I kept adding columns, and it was so long that I had to scroll through the page on my computer, and I lost track of leads that way. So you just want to make it as short as possible. You want to be able to see it on one screen. And that is what you want to do. You want to make sure that you have a sales pipeline structure in place. And that is a clear process for a lead to go through to become a client. The third thing you want to have in place is key communication points within the system. Now that means email templates, text message templates, education. You want to have resources available for this prospective client as they progress through the pipeline, to be able to educate them, to be able to overcome false beliefs that they might have, limiting beliefs, overcoming some of the fears they have. Guys, this is really, really important, because remember, you're building someone's home, you're renovating someone's home. How much is it? It's $50,000. It's $250,000. It's $1 million. We've got clients doing 5 million plus 10 million. You know, it's crazy how much people invest in you. And a lot of builders take this for granted. They just go, I just get clients that are just, budget driven, or I just get clients that, they just think all builders are like bullies, or they're just trying to make the most money out of me and so on, right? That is what people think. But what you want to do as a progressive builder, a builder that is taking charge of your own success in your business, you have to create some of this communication. You have to create better educated clients. A few of our clients have actually recently told me that there is no such thing as a bad client. It's just an uneducated client. And I agree with that. I mean, you do get the exceptions here and there, but honestly, that is the truth. You want to be able to educate. You want to take charge of how people perceive you, how prospective clients perceive your business, how they perceive the journey that you're going to take them on, how they perceive other builders. They need to be able to see that you are the builder of choice, because you're taking charge, you're showing expertise, you're basically the most trusted builder. And when you have these communication points in your system, it becomes easy. You don't have to think about it each time a new inquiry comes in. You can just deal with it straight away. You can use it as a template. So you can go select template number 2, saying, okay, hey, fantastic, your consult is booked. This is the agenda. This is what we're going to run over in the consult. This is what I'm going to be asking you. This is what we want to achieve. So guess what? They get this email and they see you as the expert taking charge. You show up on site for the consult. There's an agenda. They see you. They respect you. They trust you. You're building a lot of trust right there. So you want to once you've structured out your pipeline, you want to structure out your key communication points. Number 4 is you want nurturing campaigns. Now, this is, again, following up from the previous one, communication points. This is a different part of the system. The nurturing campaign should be automated. It's when new opt-ins or new inquiries come in, there's a series of emails for you to educate your clients. Now, this one is so powerful. I get a lot of builders and a lot of people, and including myself, saying things like, people don't even check email anymore. Email is dead. It doesn't work. And even though I sometimes think this way, I've got to like slap myself because it's a false belief in my own mind. And recently we actually had a client that we wanted to get them on board with this wholesale system to help him set up this wholesale system himself. And before I went on the call, I just went and looked back at how he came into our system. Now, we've had a system like this in place for, I can't even remember how long in our business. Anyway, guess what happened? He clicked on one of our ads. He opted in to watch one of our educational videos. Then he went onto this nurturing campaign. And guess what? On the third or fourth email, he actually replied to that email saying, hey, when are you going to be in Brisbane next? I want to talk. Let's do this. He's been a client of ours for 3, maybe 4 years now. It's funny because I showed him that, look, this is what we need to implement for you. And just before we get started, do you remember how you came into our whole system and why, what made you, what was that trigger point? And I screen shared the screen with him and I showed him, look, this is you replying on one of my educational emails that actually included a video. And this particular email, triggered him to reply and get the process moving. So what was it? Was it the ad? Was it the 3 emails before that? Was it all the videos that he watched? It doesn't really matter. The point I'm trying to make is we had a nurturing campaign here in place, while this particular client could have looked at all these different things, getting distracted by all these different things every single day in life and business. This email stood out to him and he replied to it and he became a client, and he's been honestly one of our favorite clients of all time. And if we didn't have this nurturing campaign in place, then he wouldn't have been a client, or you could argue that he wouldn't have become a client. So this is what you need to have in place. You need to have a nurturing campaign. And what this normally looks like is, I would suggest for builders sending at least 1 email a month. Okay, so again, someone might opt in to some of your information at the infancy stage of their journey to renovate or build their new home or whatever. This could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they actually build. Why waste that inquiry? So I would suggest having enough emails, and you just start with 12. And then before that year is finished, you keep adding more emails to that, so that each person that opts in, they get those emails, they get nurtured. So by the time they are ready to build, guess who's been educating them? Guess who is the expert and the most trusted builder in their mind? You want to create nurturing campaigns for your building business. The 5th thing you want part of this system is what we call offers. Now, this is something for people to take action on. I see so many builders, they just have a website with pretty pictures of their projects and so on. And yes, that is very important. If you don't show what you build, then people don't know what style building you build. I mean, you can write words on your website saying like, we do Hampton homes, or we do, these renovations and so on. But you've got to show what you sell. Okay, so people believe what they see, not just what you tell them. So you want to have those images and everything in place. You want your website to cover a lot of these things, but without an offer or without multiple offers on your website, there's no real reason for them to take action. I see a lot of builders, they just have a contact page and a contact button on their website. And then when the prospect lands on the contact page, it says name, surname, email, phone number, and what is your message. And then guess what most people actually type in there? They type something in about budget. And then builders think, oh, my marketing's not working because I'm just attracting people that are budget minded. The problem here is people don't know what to say. And that includes myself. Like if I want to go build a home or whatever I want, something big, like a big ticket item, I don't know a lot of the things, and I expect the business to educate me and so on. And leaving me open just with a contact form, leaving it up to me to say, like, come up with what I need to say, that is like not the right way of doing it. So that's why I suggest having an offer, and the must-have offer that you need on your website is book a consult with us. And for them to book the consult, you need to sell them the value of that consult on a landing page. This is what you're going to get from the consult. We're going to get clear on what you want and why. We're going to suggest other things that you might not have thought about. We're going to talk about budget. We're going to talk about you as a builder need to list out what are all the value points that they are going to receive when they do a consult with you. And then when they actually click to request that consult, they need to go through a questionnaire with you. They need to do a little bit of work. And the reason why you want to have this questionnaire in place is so that you can easily qualify them, because you might get people that come through this offer and they might not be in the right location, or it might just be a client that you can't really help. They want let's say a granny flat and you focus on luxury builds, or the other way around. They want a luxury build and you focus on granny flats. You got to stick with what your niche is and what your focus is. That's where you deliver the best value for clients. So that is why you need this questionnaire in place. And I'll have another podcast in the future where we just dig deep into this questionnaire, because there's some really valuable psychological factors that we include in this questionnaire. The questionnaire is not just there to qualify people, it's actually there to educate people along the way and also get them clear in their mind as to what they want. The way you formulate the questions, why you put this question in front of the other one, it gets them to start thinking clear. You have to understand that most people, they don't really know what they want. They are super confused. And we're in the end of 2022 at the moment. Instant gratification and short form content and distraction is everywhere. I mean, it's crazy. Like, people are getting bombarded with so many different things, hogging their attention. And this questionnaire should be a way for you to slow them down, start thinking about what they really want. And then this will help them getting clear on what they want as well. And then you get the questionnaire so you can qualify them. So that's the first offer that you need to create. The second offer you need to create is something for your target market to educate them, and earlier on in the process, at the infancy stage of when they get the idea of, let's say, for example, renovating. So you need to create a piece of content, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a video, something educational. And within this deliverable that you actually give over, it needs to educate them. It needs to overcome false beliefs. It needs to set you apart from all the other builders that focus on what they focus on. And what I mean by that is, every single builder should choose a particular focus, like I just said before. That way you can produce more value for your clients, because you can go deeper with that. I mean, a great example is us. Like, we help builders in Australia and in New Zealand, and that is our focus. Yes, and what we do for clients will work in so many different industries, but we focus on that, and we actually have narrowed it down even more. I won't talk about that today, but what that means is we can start identifying, like, what are our builders' problems, what are their desires, and then what that means is we can start creating our solution and optimizing our product to get them better results, to get them what they want, and help them in that process. And that's what I would suggest to builders as well. You've got to do that. And then when you do that, again, this offer number 2, this valuable content, you need to speak all those things in there, so that if that particular person that has that desire, they've got that set of problems and obstacles, and they're kind of like, it could be just being unclear on this whole process, that when you deliver that piece of content, whether it's a video or PDF, I suggest a video these days just because it's more engaging. People want to watch it. We do have a PDF in one of our offers, so we're testing that as well. I'm not saying that's not a good idea, and we're actually rolling out a few PDFs for a few of our clients. It just depends on your building business. So I'm not saying one is better than the other. It really depends. But you have to have that in place so that, again, people see you as the expert for them, for their particular scenario and circumstance, and for you to actually help them. And once they opt in for that, so they've got to give you some little bit of information. That's just an email address. You deliver that content. Then the next thing that should happen is they're now in your sales system. And what needs to happen straight away is there's no real input from your side. You need to have some automations in place to deliver those nurturing campaigns, so you can keep nurturing them along the way. So whether they are 1 month away from contacting a builder, or whether they are 5 years away, you've got to cater for that. You've got to keep educating them, stay front in mind, provide value all the way. The benefit here for you is you create it once, you invest one time into one particular email, for example, and that email keeps paying for itself, because each time it educates a new person. And what that also means to you is you don't have to think about it. You can focus on other things, and the system is just doing it by itself. The other benefit of this particular offer is that you are starting to build a massive database. If you're just using Facebook and Instagram ads or Google ads or whatever you're using, you are at the mercy of that particular channel's audience, and you need to pay for it each time. And if something changes in the future, and it always does, I mean, if you look back at history with social media channels and everything, it always changes. So you can't be at the mercy of their audience. You need to start, the money you invest in ads and so on to get that attention. Yes, it's great for your brand. Yes, it's great to generate inquiries and so on. But you need to start shifting that audience into your own database, which means you're building your audience, that list of emails that you have. And what that means is if you suddenly, add another offer into your building business or anything like that, I mean, there's so many different things you can use this database. You have that database as an asset for you to communicate to that audience. And each time you communicate to them, you don't have to pay for those ads again. Ads are like, once you have a massive database, like we've got a few clients, they tell me that, look, I've got a massive database at the moment, but I'm not going to stop my ads because, again, I need new people that are not even thinking about building, or they might have just started thinking about building, to become aware of us. And also the people that are, already in our sales pipeline, they need to keep seeing us on social media. So that's why we've got like retargeting campaigns up there. Again, reinforcing why this builder is the builder of choice. We do that through story. We do that through showcasing projects, clients, a lot of different things. That's another podcast by itself. But yeah, again, these builders, they tell me, even though I've got a database, I'm going to keep the Facebook and Instagram ads going because I need to show that omnipresence. People need to see me the whole time. When you have a system like this in place, a few things will start happening. Number one is your marketing will yield better results. Again, like I said before, you're starting to build a database. When inquiries come in, you can actually nurture them along the way, and it's really cool. Which leads me into number two, which is the system will do the heavy lifting, which means it'll save you time. So as a business owner, you're doing a lot of different things. I mean, it's crazy. If you're the sole person in the business, your roles are infinite. I totally get it. We were at that stage as well. Luckily, I had Andre. We could split the focus a little bit. But again, like, you have a lot of different things. And even if you have a massive team, again, the system will do all the heavy lifting so they can focus on things that are more value add to your business rather than things that could just be automated or systemized. The next one is leads and inquiries won't fall through the cracks. Like Andre and I back in the day, hey, did you call that inquiry 2 days ago? Those people weren't interested at all at that stage. Again, we're living in a world at the moment where people want that instant gratification. So the way you can do that as a builder, you can't build their home instantly just like that and give it to them, but at least you can get back to them as soon as possible. The next one is everyone in the team will know what their role is when it comes to business development. We've got a few clients that, yes, the business owner, they take care of majority of the sales. However, they've got someone in the office, someone that does admin, to start doing some of the discovery calls because they're getting more and more inquiries. So what that means is when they get that questionnaire back, that I spoke about before, this particular admin person calls that prospective client and qualifies them even more before the business owner goes and does an on-site consult. The other benefit of this is that everyone in the team will have a little bit more emphasis on business development and will understand the importance of business development. Remember, without business development, without the blood of the business, you don't have a business. Another massive benefit of having a system and a structure like this in place is that it builds your long-term pipeline. We have a client that, they've had a system like this in place, and the pipeline is growing more and more and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what that means is they can be way more selective with the type of clients that they bring on board, which changes the dynamic of the business entirely. I mean, it becomes more profitable. The team enjoys it more because now they are working with clients that are more in line with this particular business and the values of this business. So again, having this structure in place really grows that long-term pipeline and gets you to choose who you work with. So if you're a builder, this is exactly what we help our clients do. We help them set up a system and a structure like this, and then we help them market their business. Again, like if you're a builder and you are in obscurity, which means people don't know about you, they don't understand exactly what you do and what value you can provide, it's going to be tough for you. So again, if you need help with this, I would suggest jumping on our website and finding a way to get talking with us. I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast and see you in the next one.